Welcome to your local Forcecast. This is your anchors, Austin.
And Morgan.
And this is my radio voice.
Hi. Welcome.
Hi, welcome to the Forcecast.
Thought I'd have some fun with that one.
Hey, you know what? That was a great intro. Very nicely done.
Yes, thank you very much.
Alright, yeah, welcome to today's episode. First of all, before we get on to our topics and things for the day, we're going to start with our on this day and also a little bit of some media news.
Yes, we have not been covering much on the news. There's really been a lot to talk about, but we have something today, so.
There was something that came out today that we want to talk about really quick. The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a sec, but first we have our On This Day segment with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
Yes. On this day for Star Wars, for all you in Uruguay, assuming we reach Uruguay, Empire Strikes Back opened today in 1981 in Uruguay. I would love it if there was a comment in tonight's episode that said, I'm from Uruguay! Probably not going to happen, but hey, maybe you're out there.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool.
I hope you're out there. Maybe one day, like 5 years from now, we're going to get a comment just like, I'm from Uruguay.
That'd be pretty cool.
And that's really all I got. There's something for a couple days later, but that's...
Nothing for the past couple days either?
Not much.
Okay.
Yeah, not a whole lot. So we'll get to that. We'll get to the other one on Thursday.
Alright. On this day in Lord of the Rings history, obviously in the book, the Fellowship, first of all, is when they got to the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Is this really when they go?
Yes. And actually, going back to Sunday, on January 13th, was actually when the company... It says the company! It's not right, it's the Fellowship.
Well, they're also called the company.
I know, but when it says the company, I think the Hobbit. I know.
They're known as both.
Okay. The company, the Fellowship, reaches the west gate of Moria, and that's when they encounter the Watcher in the water, and also Gollum begins trailing them into the mines of Moria.
Naturally.
And then Monday, they just spend time in Moria because they were there for a little while. But yeah, then today is when they got to the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, and where they lost Gandalf temporarily. And then also the company reaches...
Wait, only temporarily?
Huh?
Only temporarily?
Yeah, he comes back.
What?
What?
I didn't get this movie at all. Oh, also, fun fact, we're recording in a new location today.
Yes.
I mean, that's not really a big deal. You can't see anything, but hey, we're in a new location. It's probably going to be where we're doing it from here on out for the next foreseeable months.
Yep. For the first few episodes, we had been doing it over at our parents' place, and then today we're actually at my place.
Yes.
And we'll probably be doing that from now on.
Yes, and Shuri's looking down on us. Why is Shuri she's like judging us?
I have a...
Extensive popped out collection. Well, not that extensive popped out.
I have a big...
It's borderline extensive at this point.
I have a really big Pop Dog collection. I have Shuri from Black Panther up on a shelf, and
staring down at
for whatever reason, hers leans forward, so it looks like she's looking down at us, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, you have an extensive pop dog, and I'm just gonna say that right now.
I believe I'm up to over 30. And
30, not 3. It's not like you said 3.
Oh, sorry.
I'm over 3. That's extensive.
I'm over 30, and it's just going to keep growing because I still need a few members of the Fellowship, plus some other ones. Really quick to finish up my On This Day for Lord of the Rings. After the Bridge of Khazad-dûm on this day, the Fellowship reaches Nimrodel, which is a river just outside of LotH.
Isn't?
Mm-hmm.
No. Is that... That's not the one where... Durin looked into, right?
No, that was
that was at Gundam.
That was Miromir. That was the lake.
Miromir, yeah, that's the lake.
You know, Durin looked in Miromir, which is just outside of Moria.
And he saw the 7 stars above.
Yes, and that's how he got his sigil.
Cool.
Sorry, Lord of the Rings nerding out here.
Also, the 7 stars appear in the White Tree of Gondor for some reason.
Yes, that is also true.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
But that, yeah, is for pretty much for today. And then I can cover.
You cover next time.
I'll cover Wednesday on Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is our quick segment for On This Day. Also, to help us talk about our things today, we have another special guest today.
Yes. I don't know why I'm introducing him. He's not my husband. He's Morgan's husband. This is Paul. Paul, say hi.
Hello.
Yes, this is him. You might have heard him coughing in the background. It was not me.
And I've mentioned him a few times. And,
Yes, we have.
Kind of actually last minute, earlier today, we figured, hey, why not have him join us?
Yes,
so,
he's
welcome, hon.
clutching some sort of very evil-looking machete. It's a pretty sick-looking machete, actually. Is that from an anime, or is that just a cool looking?
It's just a cool looking.
Man, hold it.
Yeah.
Will Meredith, if you listen to this at all, Paul is holding the short sword that you gave him.
This is quite an impressive little blade.
Will is one of our friends, and he gave it to him for a secret Santa gift.
Let me rephrase that. This is a good sword.
Oh my gosh.
This is a good sword. So yeah, let's talk about that Homecoming trailer
Yeah, I was
for a
about to
few
say,
minutes.
you guys
Let's talk about that.
Far From Home.
Far From Home. Excuse me.
Homecoming was the first.
Okay, so funny
Spider-Man.
thing today. So funny thing. I started semester today, and I have a screenwriting class and a film history or film styles and genres class. And in my screenwriting class, we were talking about just like movies, what we like in movies, and what makes a good story in a movie. And my professor mentioned that he saw Homecoming. And he wasn't a big fan of it, and actually, a few people in the class, because I can sense there's some people in there who are probably not very big on blockbusters, and others that are. A couple of us were like, wait, Spider-Man Homecoming or a day? He's like, no, it's a different Homecoming. I'm like, good,
Oh.
okay, go ahead.
I was about to say, what is wrong with your professor? What?
I'm not gonna get into that.
Okay.
But I don't even really know. But
I was gonna say,
I meet a lot of these professors who are like these uppity types, but that are not very big fans of blockbusters and the Marvel movies and all that thing. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Far From Home trailer dropped today.
Looks so cool.
It looks really good, and I'm really excited for it. Alex and I agree on this. Only problem I have is that there is a trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home.
I know.
That we know that there is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Before Endgame.
Well, it's supposedly supposed to take after Endgame. Like, timeline-wise, it's supposed to be after Endgame. Like, I think they've confirmed that.
Yeah,
but it's
big spoilers for Endgame.
Alex and I say the only thing that Marvel did wrong in this instance is announcing their future movies, at least with characters.
I'm not entirely sure it
that we know
was entirely
exist.
Marvel, because I thought I read something where Marvel said they regretted having Sony release info about Far From Home so
Well, not
far.
just that, but like the fact that we know that it's a Doctor Strange 3, or Doctor Strange 2, excuse me.
They should have waited on releasing anything, like any upcoming movies, until after Endgame.
They really should have. Like, we know there's a Doctor Strange 2. We know there's most likely a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and if it doesn't end up happening, we know it was supposed to be. Kevin Feige says it's supposed to happen still. It's like the fact we know these movies exist is my biggest problem right now. Like, my biggest thing is just how.
I feel like instead of a director or producer choice, I feel like that's more of a marketer choice.
Probably, but even so, it's like... My biggest thing right now is not that it's gonna happen, it's just that how. Like, how are they gonna somehow reverse the snap? Is that as some people think, and they're just gonna bring them in from other timelines and dimensions? Or what? Or is it gonna be none of those? Like, is it gonna be this thing that we've never even thought of?
Well, that same thing happened. That same thing happened when the first Avengers was coming out. They had already announced Iron Man 3.
Yeah, so when Iron Man's
and there was
laying
that
on
whole
the
thing...
street, you're like, well, no, he's not dead.
Yeah, after he flew into the void or whatever, set off that missile, and then you think, holy crap, I think he's dead. And it's like,
wait,
well, he
there's
can't.
a third Iron Man.
I'm like, there's another Iron Man, so he can't be dead. And then a couple seconds later, Hulk scares him awake.
You're like, okay.
But I was sitting there going, wait, Iron Man's dead? Wait, no.
Either way, it's like, it looks good though. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal, which is funny, because a lot of people, I think, when they were making the original Spider-Man trilogy, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, I think Jake Gyllenhaal was one of the forerunners for Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny now that, and actually a lot of people have talked about how people think he'd be a good Spider-Man, so now he's actually Mysterio.
And now he's actually in
one of Spider-Man's villains. Looks as though he's going to be helpful at the first part. I've heard he's going to be helpful working with S.H.I.E.L.D., and then he's going to turn evil, or something like that. I don't know.
One thing I want to mention, I don't know if I correctly saw this or not, but I could have swore I saw Mysterio using the magic circles. That
it looked very Doctor Strange.
It did. Like at the very end, as
he's blocking the water monster.
I didn't. I can't get a quite good look because it's like a half second there, but I could have swore there were some magic circles. So.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot that Aunt May knew he was Spider-Man at the beginning of the trailer. Because she just like high fives him and his mask is off. I was like, wait a second. I was like, oh yeah, the whole thing at the end of the movie, right?
What the?
And Happy and Aunt May, they do have a thing going on, which I'm kind of happy about. Happy's been in this for 10 years. Doesn't he deserve something at this point? But it's also funny because this is not...
Yeah, but I like Aunt May better with Tony.
Tony's never... He's gonna be with Pepper. Also,
I know, but they're
have
just...
you seen on the
they're
internet whose suitcase Peter is using?
It
has the initials BFP on it for Ben Franklin Parker.
Is he using Uncle Ben's?
He's using Uncle Ben's suitcase.
I did not
In
see
the
that.
trailer.
I did not
I
see
saw
People
the
have already-
P at the end, but I
fans
thought it was
are
a
like
P.
people have also pointed out there's a scene where there's a someone's taking a picture of Ned while they're like on this gondola in Venice, and in the background there's a boat that is labeled ASM 101 or something like that, which somebody figured out stands for Amazing Spider-Man issue number 101 or whatever the number is, which is the issue where these elemental creatures first debuted.
Oh my god.
Or at least one of them. The water one, I'm pretty sure. I saw that on Instagram.
Freaking comic book nerds.
We remember to talk, right?
I mean...
That's amazing, though. It's like, you figured that out really quick.
I mean, that would just go right over my head.
I'm also really excited to see more of MJ and Peter. Because I know that Zendaya and Tom Holland are best friends, and really they became best friends because of Spider-Man. I've seen videos of them, too. They are just hilarious together. I've seen one.
Zendaya went from Zac Efron to Tom Holland.
I saw this one where, like, Tom is showing off his parkour skills, and she's just, like, trying and pretending to do it, and it's really funny. And they have such a great relationship as friends. I really can't wait to see that translate on screen.
But yeah, I think Far From Home is gonna be a really fun movie. If you haven't seen the trailer, you can find it probably anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
It's on YouTube. That's where I watched it.
Oh, okay, I saw it all on
Also,
Facebook.
I love they keep bringing back. Okay, so in Spider-Man: Homecoming, on the intro they had the Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man. This is gonna get third-party content flagged. They had that playing in like the intro, and then they kind of had a tweaked version of it for his main theme, which also appears once in Avengers: Infinity War when he swings out of the bus. But for this trailer, they just kept the music, and I really wouldn't mind if they changed Spider-Man's theme from Homecoming back to that. I really would not care. Because I just love hearing the Spider-Man theme in full orchestral glory that it should be.
I didn't notice it in the other one when he came out of the bus.
Yeah, it's very brief. Like, I didn't even notice really that he had a theme music in Homecoming, and then we watched it again. I'm like, oh, he does have a theme, and then it plays again when he swings out of the bus. Also, probably Stan Lee's last cameos in this one, which is fitting. Honestly, I feel it's more fitting than him being in Endgame as his final cameo.
That's true, because Spider-Man was like
his favorite.
It's his favorite.
He is MJ and Spider-Man. Like, that's why they put him in the Spider-Man video game. You always remind they're your favorite couple. Like, I watched a video where he said he's never really put himself or his personal experiences into the comics, except for when Peter Parker first meets Mary Jane. His experience meeting his wife, the way he felt and the way he thought about it.
I love authors that do that.
So he says he doesn't really put himself in his comics except for that moment. MJ and Peter Parker have always been his favorite couple, and Peter Parker's pretty much one of his favorite characters.
That's awesome.
So I really think it's more fitting that if his final cameo will be in Homecoming instead of in an Endgame. I keep calling it Infinity War.
It's like Infinity War Part 2. That's what it was supposed to be called.
Part 2.
Yeah, but Endgame's pretty good too.
Endgame sounds cooler.
We wouldn't have cared either way. It's still a great movie.
Yeah, really cool trailer. Looking forward to that. If you haven't seen the trailer, go see it. Really quick, I'm just going to throw this out there. This happened yesterday, I believe, that Chris Pratt is engaged.
Yes, to the governor's daughter.
Yeah, to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. I totally am blanking on her name now.
Which is unfortunate, because she's only going to be known as Schwarzenegger's daughter. Or Chris Pratt's wife.
Yeah, or Chris Pratt's wife. Which, I mean, I could have swore that his divorce with Anna Faris was, like, just recent, but then I looked at an article. It's like, no, that was over a year ago that they got divorced, and Chris and... I need to look up her name now because it's bugging me.
Yeah.
But they've been dating for a few months, and I guess they really bonded over their religious connections, and...
That's always good. Had the same beliefs.
Yeah, they had the same beliefs, and
especially in Hollywood.
I guess it said they were seen attending church a lot together, actually, which I think is actually
Yes,
kinda
I remember
cool.
seeing my mom reading that article actually a few months back. What's her name?
Catherine.
Oh,
Catherine Schwarzenegger. And actually, the picture he posted is super cute. And actually, what's also cool is his ex-wife actually commented on it too and said, "I'm really happy for you guys."
Well, I mean, well, I guess it's not always that way.
I always like it when people can divorce or break up and still be close and still be good friends. Like,
And she's come out and said, Chris and I will always be friends and we'll be close, but we're just not meant to be together the way that they were.
Which is a really respectful thing. Really admirable.
And I love that a lot.
When you think about it, I mean, Chris Pratt as a person, I mean, as an actor...
Probably not a lot wrong with him.
No, there's
Probably not
not.
anything wrong
Probably not.
He's a really good guy, and one of the things I don't see him is as vengeful. The amount that I do know of him, I don't see him as vengeful.
No.
And it's actually fun now
Anna Faris.
looking at the comments on his post. The Anna Faris is the top one. Then there's Tom Holland. He commented, "Congrats, bro." Gwyneth Paltrow, Rob Lowe, Josh Gad.
And
Oh, even Arnold Schwarzenegger commented. He said, "Congratulations, so proud of you. Welcome to the family."
No.
Now
He's
you have to read it.
Congratulations, so proud of you. Welcome to the family. Everybody get down.
Bryce Dallas Howard, Karen Gillan, Questlove even commented.
Questlove.
Questlove from The Tonight Show. And there's probably other people that I know, I just don't recognize their Instagram name. But yeah, there's tons of people that, have commented, which I think is really cool. And, I thought I'd bring that up for the kind of in the media news, just because I like Chris Pratt. And that's really cool, that he's found another girl.
We should have done that first, and then the Spider-Man thing, because that would have been a perfect segue in today's topic. Favorite characters.
Yep, today we're talking about our favorite characters.
In anything.
Anything, mostly just a couple select fandoms that we've listed, and we'll try not to dwell too much on each one, just so we can get through all of them as best we can.
Might not happen.
Future episode idea. Just thought of this. Favorite Smash Brothers characters.
Oh.
That would mostly probably be Paul and I.
Yeah, that'd probably be you two more than me, because I will never play as one person.
by the way, Paul is probably going to become a series regular as this goes on.
Yeah, probably, especially since we're doing it at my house.
Anson, he lives here, and he's nerdy like us, so he's probably going to stay here.
I mean, I told the story of our first date and how I knew he and Austin would get along. So
where do we want to start? Should we just start with Marvel, since we're talking Marvel?
yeah, since we're still on the subject of Marvel, let's start there.
Okay. Paul, you go first. Favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe. Talk
Marvel
Yeah, go Cinematic Universe.
Alright. Mine will probably actually have to be Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man a lot. Ever since a kid, Spider-Man was my favorite hero growing up, and played a lot of video games. And I just think it's cool. I mean, being able to swing on webs, climb walls, have amazing strength, and Spidey's... There's a lot you can do with Spidey senses.
Yes, you can. Like, detect that you're going to die and say, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Dude, too soon!
That's the canon! That's literally the canon of why he sensed it through his Spidey sense.
I know, but too soon!
I also saw that comment on the trailer. It's like, wait, I thought he didn't feel so good.
Oh, come on!
Which is it's also another thing. It's like, his lack of PTSD from being dusted is very questionable. And again, there's probably more going on than we realize, but it's like, something just not completely... Well, we'll see how it goes. We're not going to talk about Far From Home.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oof. Doctor Strange. I became... I don't know if there's a Strange head or something like that. I don't know if there's a name for Strange fans, but I became a Doctor Strange fan after coming home from a mission and really just seeing Infinity War. Because I am... I don't want to say it. I kind of want to say it, but I also don't want to say it.
Just say it.
I'm a cumber bitch.
It's Cumber Collective now.
Is it though?
That's what Benedict wants to try and make it, because he doesn't like the term Cumber bitches.
I am a big fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. First time I ever knew of his existence was The Hobbit. I saw that he was going to play Smaug, and his picture, it was just like, who is this guy? He's very odd-shaped face. He's a very weird-looking dude. I did not like him very much when I first saw him. But then I saw he was in the second Star Trek movie. I was like, okay, let's see who's that. And his first freaking line, like this really deep British voice. He's not like incredibly deep, but just like, I can't do it very well, but he's like, he just says this line, and you're like, instantly I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be an amazing Smaug.
Right.
And he was scary.
Well, that was
Star Trek.
That was off screen too.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't even see his face. And he was scary as Khan.
Oh, he freaked me out.
When he splits the guy's skull, like that part is scary.
That legit scared me.
And his Smaug is amazing. I love Smaug. Sherlock, we got into Sherlock after that because of like The Hobbit and Star Trek. We're like, this Benedict Cumberbatch guy is pretty cool. Or this butternut crinkle fries, or this Benadryl kumquat, or this cucumber dude. You know, there's a lot of different names the internet's come up. Or
I love those memes.
Benedict Cramble Scratch. That's my favorite.
So you like Doctor Strange for Benedict Cumberbatch?
Mostly. Well, also because I just think he's super cool. Like, I love... Usually the MCU is mostly based on science, you know, and even they try to science away Asgard, at least until Ragnarok, and then they're like, we're gods! Like, look at us! But then, like, there's Doctor Strange, and while it's still kind of sciencey, like, we're drawing on the energy of the universe, it's still magic, and again, all that he does with it in Infinity War is so cool. Like, my favorite part is the showdown between Thanos and Strange.
Oh my god.
Although somebody has pointed out on the internet, you would do extremely well, too, if you knew the answers to all the questions on the test. Because technically, he had to, because everyone's like, oh, he's so powerful. It's like, he saw it in the future. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
He's the only one that's seen Endgame.
Yes, he's the only one and he only spoiled the title. Good for him.
Yep, and we didn't even know it, sort of.
And we knew it. We all knew it.
Well, like, we guessed it, but didn't know officially until that trailer
But
came
yeah,
out.
I really like...
laughed if they just came out with it, said, Infinity War Part 2!
It would be... I would have thought it would just been hilarious. Also, I mean, there's...
Everyone's waiting for the name, and then Part 2!
Obviously, there's so much we wish could have been with Endgame. Like, I think... Because I remember the first trailer for Avengers was the post-credit scene of Captain America. The first
That's
one.
true, it was.
The Endgame trailer would have made a perfect post-credit scene for Captain Marvel.
Oh, man.
If it did not come out, post-credit scene Captain Marvel, the Endgame trailer, with the title reveal, would have been amazing. Like, however,
then
I'm
you have
happy
a
with
better
what we have.
idea of who he's actually calling.
Yes.
That would have been a really good seller for Captain Marvel. You know, you get...
Oh, people are still buying tickets.
Well, I know, but I mean, you get people to buy tickets just so they can see
Yeah, I know.
Reddit.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's like, I love Doctor because I also just think he's cool. I mean, he's got the boom boom whoosh, you know, everyone likes the boom boom whoosh. His visual effects, I really, really, really want the second one to be in 3D and to be as trippy as the first one, because my
We
parents
are
saw...
seeing that one in 3D.
My
just
parents
clarifying
saw
that
it
now.
in 3D, and they said it was incredible, which mostly doesn't happen walking out of 3D movies, and we were happy that we enjoyed Doctor Strange outside of the 3D better than we enjoyed Avatar outside of the 3D.
No.
And we're not talking about that. But anyway, it's like, I want to see that second movie in 3D because, unfortunately, releasing the entire MCU to IMAX thing that they're doing until Endgame, it's probably already passed for Doctor Strange, and the closest one is in Oregon.
Oh, really? Dang.
It's not even here in the Boise one. It's like...
Oh, that's lame.
I really wanted to see it in 3D because I heard it was so good in 3D and so trippy. But I hope the second one's in 3D. I hope it's just as good and just as trippy. It's like, I want to freaking just see that. I just really like Doctor Strange.
That's awesome.
That's why I like it, mostly because of Cumberbatch, because he was perfect for the role, and everyone knew that. That's why we asked for him.
And then,
Excuse me.
who is your favorite character, Morgan?
Oh, jeez, it's so hard. There's so many characters that I like. I really should have thought about this more. I'd have to say probably Shuri, I think, because I mean she's a young girl. I mean she's either a teenager or a young adult, like very young adult. It doesn't really clarify what her age
I think
is.
she's a teenage.
Yeah, I think she's kind of somewhere in her.
She's like the young genius.
Yeah, like she's the young genius. She's also a fighter, which is really cool. But what's also really awesome, in my opinion, is that she knows she's young and people kind of pick on her for it, but she's just like, I don't care. I can still prove I'm smarter than you.
I think Kevin Feige. Excuse me, there is something in my throat. I think Kevin Feige has confirmed she is the smartest character in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, just even in Infinity War, she's talking to, Bruce Banner, one of the biggest scientists.
In an instant.
And, oh yeah, she outsmarts him, like, right away. She's like, I don't remember the line. It was something.
Why didn't you do this?
Why didn't you program the synapses to fire collectively? I've seen this movie a lot.
That's true. Well, and then he was just kind of like,
We didn't think of it?
Yeah, like, Bruce was stumped, and she was just like, "Oh well, I'm sure you did your best."
And Bruce
you know?
Bruce Banner, he's 7 PhDs. You know, don't forget that they said that in Ragnarok. He's got 7
Yeah,
PhDs.
he's one of your PhDs.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, you know, Bruce is a huge, smart scientist, and Shuri, this young girl, just totally outwits him. Like the minute she meets him.
Also, just the fact that she came up with it in an instant where Tony Stark and Bruce Banner didn't think of it.
Yeah, two genius minds working together, and this one mind thought of something completely different.
I will say that honorary mention goes to Iron Man for starting the whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just really like Shuri, that she's a total brainiac, while also being a princess, of all things. She's a princess and a scientist. She heads, like, the entire technology, basically, in Wakanda, which is awesome.
Yep, because vibranium. We don't need to explain it. It's vibranium.
Well, and, like, T'Challa, you know, when she suggests getting him a new suit, he was kind of like, you know, nothing's wrong with the one I have now. And she's like, just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved. She's wise also for her age.
Then she flips in the bird.
So. Yeah, then she flips in the bird. Yeah, like, despite that, you know, she's wise, you know, despite being so young, which I think is really cool. And she's just kick butt. I love her. And I think really close second for me is also Thor. He's just become more and more...
Because of Ragnarok.
Mostly because of Ragnarok, yes.
Well, mostly because he's Chris Hemsworth, but also because of Ragnarok.
Will you let me finish? I know you're proving me right, but yes.
You nailed all the points. I mean, I feel like there's nothing
the internet
else that needs
agrees.
to be said.
I don't think the internet, the internet knows.
I mean, he's become more awesome since Ragnarok, and I love that they brought out the more comedic side of Thor, which, you know, I love comedy, so that kind of makes him more fun. But yeah, I mean, we've seen, you know, his increase in power in Ragnarok and in Infinity War.
Yeah, Ragnarok and Infinity War did wonders for Thor, where the first two were not so good.
And Thor had the best entrance in Infinity War. Come on! Mm-hmm. When he got to Wakanda.
And
awesome.
Play the theme music. I love the Avengers theme music, but we'll probably have another episode on soundtracks where I can go on that. Paul is requesting something.
Okay, so that covers our characters for Marvel. Now Paul is requesting we talk about Lord of the Rings. This I'm gonna have to be careful on. I could go on about this for hours. So Paul, since you requested it, do you want to say who your favorite is?
Gimli!
Of course.
Gimli is by far my favorite. I love him. He is amazing. He is funny, he is strong, and he's a dwarf. And his beard is magnificent.
He does have a pretty awesome beard.
Gimli's pretty cool. I do like
Paul's
him.
Gimli's axe in his bedroom somewhere.
Oh, yes, I do.
It's a small plastic one.
Not
Not the
the
real
plastic
deal.
one. Yeah, not one of them big, authentic ones from the Noble collection.
That's my dream. I want it.
I don't know if you heard that, but it's his dream. You probably heard it, though.
But yeah, no, it's just a little plastic one from a Halloween shop.
Yeah.
Are you on that same page with him, Austin?
You know what? Honestly, Lord of the Rings, it's pretty tough for me, actually, for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, trust me, it's going to be even harder for me if it's hard for you.
Gimli has kind of been mine and my cousin's favorite since Battle of Helm's Deep.
I remember
you're
exactly.
17, 19!
Still only counts as one!
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, it is such a hard to choose, because, like, Aragorn, you play any Lord of the Rings game, you choose Aragorn.
Aragorn's the greatest.
I don't know.
I mean, I do love playing as Gimli, because, I mean, it is so tough for me, because all the characters are good, and I love them all for different reasons. This is really tough for me.
Do you need a moment to think?
I'm just trying to think. You know what? I'm just gonna say Gollum. Gollum. Never mind. It's pretty easy. Gollum's my favorite. Also because Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is an incredibly underrated actor, and it sucks that 3 major franchises have just killed him off. Honestly, we needed more Ulysses Claw.
And a lot of people would have preferred probably more Snoke also.
I know. It's like
mostly because we don't know his backstory.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later. But it's like I love Gollum mostly because. Mostly because I love doing the voices.
Here you go, folks.
It's a lot of fun. Either way, I also think he's an incredibly talented actor who he pioneered motion capture for all you Avatar people. Andy Serkis did it first. It's because of Andy Serkis that Avatar was possible.
It seems like you seem to like characters a lot based on the actors that play them.
Seems to be. I mean, honestly, it's one thing, but also because of just the technology that went into Gollum. Also, just because Gollum's funny, but he's also incredibly creepy and just
big driving part of the whole story.
He's a very complex character.
I have various reasons for liking Gollum, but yeah, that's I'd say Gollum.
Yeah. I'd say, I think I mentioned it in our Lord of the Rings episode, but Aragorn is one of my favorites. Has been since I was a young girl. But I want to also say that Eowyn is my favorite. You'll probably find this with me. I really love the strong female characters, and that usually is one of my favorite ones.
I mean, I feel like it's, a character you can relate to, and so...
You are a woman.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. But, no, I like her because, she wasn't, like, the typical damsel in distress type character, and she could hold her own in a fight. Plus, she had one of the most iconic moments in Return of the King, both book and movie, where the Witch King says, "No man can kill me," and she just whips off her helmet and says, "I am no man," and stabs him in the face.
Technically not the canon reason why he was killed.
I'm going with it. It is great.
No, if we were going canon, there would not be an I in the first place. Right?
What do you mean an eye?
What do you mean?
That the great I was not in the
Oh,
best.
well, the eye is
yeah.
They reference it, but people question as to whether or not it's symbolic. But there is a thing. Like, it talks about it in Return of the King when they go to the Black Gate.
But yeah,
But the eye's cool. Don't question the eye.
Well, then Eowyn, I thought was a character, like Paul said, I could kind of relate to. She goes through a phase, where she pretty much thinks she's in love with Aragorn, and then later has her heart broken because he's like,
Sees some gay wannabe king.
Oh my gosh.
Riff Tracks. Courtesy of rifftracks.com.
No. But I mean, he just tells her, basically implying, I don't love you back. It's just a thought that you're in love with, and, basically kind of has her heart broken, and,
Then immediately gets over it. Marries Faramir after knowing him for
Not
5 minutes.
immediately. Time seems to go by fast in the movie. But, no, like, I've had that plenty of times in my life where, I've had heartbreak and had guys kind of let me down, so I kind of relate to that, and then, I don't want to say had a rebound, but I mean, I'd get over it and eventually find someone else, which eventually I did. But yeah, she's... Are you with us?
Catch up.
So I guess kind of segueing from Lord of the Rings, let's talk about The Hobbit.
Well, I think Morgan's is evident by what's on the wall. Or is that not? Well, I guess you've got that on the wall, you've got the daggers on the wall.
I've got a lot of things on my wall.
You do have a lot on the wall.
I feel like I'm just going to mention the same kind of characters all night, honestly.
Well, is it Tariel or is it Thorin?
Oh, jeez.
Well, because you have Thorin popped all, and then you have Tariel's daggers hanging on the wall, which are pretty awesome, by the way.
I do love Tariel a lot. For the sake of the characters I've already mentioned, I won't mention her. I do love her, even if other people don't. I think she's amazing.
Evangeline Lilly's also really good.
Evangeline Lilly did do a good
Her
job.
as the Wasp. I really enjoy her as the Wasp.
Oh, yeah. I will say Thorin for this one, just because, I mean,
Thorin?
What did I say?
Sounded like you said Thorin.
Oh, no. Thorin Oakenshield. Just because he went through a crap ton of just despair and heartbreak and depression, all this stuff with losing his home. His grandfather went mad and later died. His father disappeared. His brother died also. Doesn't show that in the movie, but in the book, his brother died in the Battle of Moria.
He has the tragic hero story.
Oh, yeah. Very tragic, and yet he's still determined, to get his homeland back, and actually does succeed.
Actually, and also he can sing.
And he can sing, yes. Richard
Armitage.
Richard Armitage is a really good singer, and even though he does have a mad phase for a little bit, also he beats it and ends up dying a hero, which I still am not fond of that ending for him, but it's whatever.
That's how it was written before he was hot.
I'm going
That
to
is canon. That is canon.
I'm going to have words with Tolkien when I get to heaven.
He was written back when Thorin had a long beard and was probably much older.
Oh, jeez. Don't talk about that with me.
And also very chill. Like, wasn't he like a very merry, very...
He was much
Not
more
merry,
chill.
but he was very
Until he got
chill.
to the mountain, then that's when he went a little weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
My favorite line from him in the book is when they're facing the stone giants. And actually in the book it said they were like throwing rocks at each other, kind of like a game.
People also question as to whether or not that was symbolic.
I don't know.
Or metaphorical.
But then Thorin says, "We must hurry." I'm just summarizing here. He's like, we must hurry and get out of here or we'll be kicked sky high for a football. And I'm like, I can't hear Richard Armitage saying that. That doesn't fit. But it's a funny line. Anyway. Austin, who's your favorite from the Hobbit
My
trilogy?
favorite from the Hobbit trilogy? Well, I would say Smaug, but because I've already listed Benedict Cumberbatch,
And you did mention Smaug also before.
I did mention Smaug. Smaug is an amazing creation of technology. I think he's the greatest looking cinema dragon we've ever seen.
Don't talk about him too much. We'll cover him later.
That's true.
Thursday.
Tune in on Thursday for episode on Dargons.
Technically, the episode comes out on Friday.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, we'll be talking about dragons in our next episode.
Dwalin.
Dwalin? Oh, yeah.
Dwalin,
I
hands
knew
down.
that.
No contest.
Yes.
He's also fun to play as in the Lego game. He's a lot of fun to play as. Because you get Grasper and Keeper. There's one Grasper soul and this one keeps it. Those are the names of his axes. Because they were Philippa Boyan's dogs? Or Fran's dogs?
Might have been Fran.
Because Fran Walsh or Philippa Boyan's dogs are named Grasper and Keeper. So he decided to name his two axes Grasper and Keeper. They're written on the... And I was so happy when we first played the Lego game because when you can do your item selection, you can select Grasper and Keeper. Named Grasper and Keeper, not just Dwalin's axes.
Yes.
It's like the other one is Dwalin's Warhammer. But they are called Grasper and Keeper, which made me very happy camper. I just love Dwalin because he's the Mr. T of the group. He also had a freaking mohawk at one point.
He did have a
He
mohawk.
I mean,
in his
he
younger
just
years.
goes through it and he rages. He's like Grug. I would like to rage.
Right now, I'm gonna hear Dwalin doing that in a Scottish accent.
Yeah. Honest, and also we've seen the scene where they filmed where Dwalin sees Thorin's death, which is very heartbreaking because you've seen that though. In the
No, I
behind the
know I've
scenes
seen
stuff.
it, but
It's very heartbreaking because there was a whole relationship there, but as them as friends, that was quite fun as well.
they were practically brothers, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was touching, and I'm kind of glad they didn't put it in the movie because I would have just cried even more.
It
But
probably
at
would
the
have
same time,
taken away from
I wish
everything else as well. Too
I don't
much
know.
going on.
maybe. At the same time, I kind of wish they would have put it in, but I'm mixed with that.
They probably thought it felt too Legolas trying to rescue Aragorn from the troll.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Also, I feel like
it.
it probably would have detracted from the scene because it was more about Thorin, and it would have probably just been too much going on, switching back and forth between Dwalin and Azog.
Yeah,
and
it was a
Thorin.
little jumpy. I remember.
So that's probably what they felt. It's just too much, too jumpy, too much going on. Paul, are you with me on Dwalin, or are you someone else?
I am actually gonna have to say my favorite character is Dane Ironfoot.
Oh, of
Who
course.
has a theme that didn't play enough.
I know, but I mean, the very moment where he first comes in
So
on
stylish.
his boar, that is just kind of trotting along. You know, he's just.
You're like a boar.
Well, the funny thing is, so when they first did the thing with Dane, it was gonna be like this big boar with massive tusks and this angry-looking thing, until they saw the pig from Desolation of Smaug, and they were like, "We gotta make it this pig." So he's not riding that exact same pig, but it looks like.
It was modeled
based-
after that
based
pig.
Yeah, it's based on that pig. Also, honorary mention, because he is, of course, the protagonist, and he is played by the amazingly talented Martin Freeman, Bilbo Baggins.
You kind of interrupted Paul though, so can
I am sorry.
No, that's all right. I mean, I didn't really have much to say after that. So.
Oh, okay.
No, he's good. So.
But again, theme of bagpipes that didn't get played.
And he has like this, the Scottish sass,
It's not
The mini-
sass, it's just...
I don't know what you
it's
call
just
it.
anger. It's just
Minnie comes in. Would you just sawed off?
He's very angry. He's Scottish. That's what they do.
The Scottish anger.
But he comes in and he greets you politely.
And then
Good
he yells at
morning, all.
And then he yells at you angrily.
And he had great insults toward Thranduil. I'm just gonna say that.
No, my honorary secondary would probably be Azog, just because of his design and like
I like that song.
everything about him is just
Also,
intimidating.
Manu Bennett is very talented.
Oh
Yes.
Saw him in Arrow. If I had to, and because y'all don't watch Arrow or Flash, I would say my favorite character from the Arrowverse is Slade Wilson.
yeah. Yes,
Oh, you have seen it.
I have seen it. Yeah, at
He
least I've
watches it,
seen
not
that bit. I've seen all the way
Manu
up
Bennett
to
as Slade Wilson is honestly the best. He's the best part of the show.
just
I haven't watched in a while, so I can't really say I'm part of the fandom anymore.
yeah.
So now back to Bilbo.
Yes, I mean, Bilbo, because the fact that, mostly because of Martin Freeman, just his portrayal of Bilbo is just spot on accurate. Even though he wasn't trying to be Ian Holm, he somehow became Ian Holm. And
He just was
he gives
phenomenal.
all of the best scenes of the movies are Bilbos. Bilbo and Gandalf, Bilbo and Gollum, and Bilbo and Smaug.
Mm-hmm.
Best scenes in all the movies. Martin Freeman is in every single one of them.
Yep.
I would
And he pulled it off to a T.
I would have to say, out of those, Bilbo and Gollum are probably... The Riddles in the Dark was
Riddles in
a
the Dark.
really good one.
Excellently shot.
I love that bit.
Excellent scene.
Oh, yeah.
Morgan, who's your secondary? Or I guess it would be Tario. You kind of already said that.
Yeah, Tario, or, to pick one that I haven't actually already mentioned, oh, geez, that's hard. I actually would have to say Bard.
You know, I was going to mention Bard. Bard, I felt, was a much better character in the movies because in the books, he didn't get a name for half of it.
He was just known as, like, the grim-faced
And he wasn't really present. I like the fact that he became kind of bigger part of it. And I like Luke Evans is really good.
Oh, yeah.
I liked his accent, too.
Luke Evans, I thought... Honestly, like, when I heard they were casting him, I didn't know who he was, but the first time I saw him in the trailer, I was just like, you know what?
That's Bard.
That's pretty much how,
That's
for
Bard.
whatever reason, it's how I pictured Bard, and it was perfect.
We always pictured Bard being Will Turner.
Oh my gosh, that again.
It's always going to come up. You know it's going to come
Yeah, I know.
up. The internet has seen it, and will never unsee it.
Oh, yeah, no, I was down with that. I have trouble saying it sometimes.
Nothing against it, because
Yeah.
I love Luke Evans. I mean, I thought he was really great in the movie.
Though, to be fair, I thought your favorite character, your third honorary mention, I would say, was going to be Thranduil. Just because he's fabulous!
Very fabulous. If you haven't seen my videos, I love doing stuff with Thranduil. I always make him King Arthur in all my Monty Python bits. Because I have a sense of continuity.
Yep, and you did the fabulous song from Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb, greatest
You're
television show.
fabulous.
Greatest cartoon show, Phineas and Ferb. Love that show.
No, I do love Bard just because, I mean, again, they made him more present, like you said. And, you know, he was a very humble character. He wanted to do what was best for his town and his children. And, you know, even when they were kind of trying to make him the leader, he was like, no, I'll lead you, but this isn't what I
I'm
want.
not king or master.
And, you know, later, he didn't want to be master, but
But
later
he
did
becomes king.
he did become king of Dale. And, I mean, he's an excellent archer. I mean, up there with, you know, probably Legolas and all those other archers. He had an interesting style, I noticed, of how he would draw his bow. Instead of the normal drawing it back, he actually would turn his hand backwards.
Well,
Cause
a lot of do that. Lurch does that.
I don't remember Lurtz doing it. I have to...
Yeah, Lords did that. Yeah.
Oh.
It's because it's harder this way, because, like, it's this way it kind of gives you more.
Yeah, when you turn your hand backwards, it
Kinda gives you
actually
more
gives you more control,
yeah,
and you have more room to pull your
Plus
bowstring
his
back.
bow, I love
His bow is huge.
I love long bows. I'm not a big fan of short bows. If I could have a long bow and could actually shoot it, I'd have a long bow. Because long bows, it's just like one of my favorite games, actually. Kind of an underrated game in my opinion. Lord of the Rings Conquest. It's like Battlefront, but with Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
do very well, but I really like playing it. Like when you're the archer class as like the men, you just have these freaking long bows that you just like BAM! And it feels so good.
Paul, are you going to say something?
I was just going to mention with the drawing of the bows, for those who can't see, we were talking with having our knuckles facing our hand versus facing away.
Yeah, kind of in the same direction versus opposite.
Yeah, I liked how they fleshed out his character more in the movie than in the book, where he wasn't really there, and then just suddenly appeared with this black arrow and was like, "Oh, I'm going to take out Smaug, and I'm the descendant of Gideon." You know?
Turns out.
Turns out I'm this big important character.
Well, the black arrow in the books wasn't written that it was the only thing that could kill a dragon. It was just an arrow that he had called the black
It was a
arrow.
really, really cool arrow that he had. But yeah, that would be...
That's for the Hobbit. That's for Tolkien universe.
Yeah, there's our Tolkien universe.
Unless we want to dip into the Silmarillion.
Let's
And
not.
Calagon! And Calagon the Black. We're talking about him next time.
You don't even... Never mind.
Ecthelion
Yeah.
fights Gothmog, the friggin' Balrog, and in my head canon, wielded Orcrist and Sting together.
That'd be so freaking
Well, I mean,
cool.
think about it. Their designs are similar, right?
They
Right.
are.
Wouldn't it
very
make
similar.
sense? Because if Glamdring was the sword of the King of Gondolin, and like Ecthelion was the captain of the guard, like he was the captain, dude. Wouldn't it make sense that he'd have like maybe a short sword? Because Orcrist isn't a very big sword for an elf. It's more like a short sword.
Yeah.
Glamdring's like a broadsword, or because Orcrist is more like a short sword because it's big on Thorn. Well, it's a normal size on Thorn.
Yeah.
And Sting would be like a little dagger, kind of musketeer thing where you've got the one sword and then you got your dagger. That's how the musketeers fought. So I'm like, in my head
segue that into our next one.
In my head canon, they're both Ecthalion's weapons. Anyway, that's my thing for the Silmarillion. But we have to talk Star Wars, okay? This is on the logo. We have to talk Star Wars.
The Forcecast.
Yeah. Okay.
The Forcecast. It's in our title. In the logo and in the title. We gotta talk about it. Sorry, Musketeers, great show. Can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
We're gonna divide this up. Original trilogy first.
Let's try and make this a little quicker.
Original trilogy, I'd probably have to say Chewbacca.
Chewbacca the Wookiee.
Chewbacca the Wookiee is my favorite. I feel like he's a bit of an underrated, yet ever so loved character.
He's like a big teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear.
Makes great for plushies.
That can rip your arms off.
You can also rip your arms off.
And that's why he's so freaking cool. Because no one wants to mess with him.
Nope, you don't mess. It's not wise to upset a Wookiee.
Sorry. Okay.
I can imagine who you're gonna say.
Maybe.
Princess Leia.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just gonna bring up the same kind of characters. Yes, I will say Leia, but apart from the strong female character, once again, it's just so hard to pick. But and honestly, this might even go for maybe even the prequels if we even talk about the prequels. But
we'll talk Clone Wars.
Okay, maybe we'll talk Clone Wars then. That's fine. I'm gonna have to say R2.
R2-D2.
R2 literally saves everybody's butts.
And Mark Hamill points out there's droid prejudice because R2 never gets a medal, which I agree.
R2 didn't get the medal.
There's a droid prejudice. He should get a medal. He's a war.
There's Wookiee prejudice too.
Can we also point out that R2-D2 is a veteran of 3 wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures is a picture of R2-D2 with like a slight overlay of Vietnam. It's just like Vietnam flashbacks. It's sad, of course. Pure respect to all the veterans out there, but still, it's just like...
Thank you for your service.
It's kind of funny in that, because, like, he is a veteran of 3 wars. He has saved Jedi and countless other people. Like, he deserves something. A promotion.
R2's just awesome.
See, he's probably on Endor thinking, I have saved He's like, without me, no one here would be alive. And 3PO's worshipped as a god?
It's garbage!
He's like, I'm the one who does all the work around here.
And he's also the most vulgar character
He's
in
like
cinema
Hermione
history.
Granger. It's like, without me, none of y'all would be here. I imagine this is what R2-D2 sounds like. He's just very angry.
Yeah, R2's also very vulgar because every line is censored.
That's Chopper.
Chopper, yeah.
Chopper's angry.
Well, I've seen... Okay, so the internet likes to subtitle R2-D2, BB-8, and Chopper. R2-D2's is somewhat vile. BB-8's is more angry. Chopper, you don't watch. You just don't watch Choppers because it just lends itself.
Why would BB-8 be angry?
Because it doesn't fit. Like, it's juxtaposition. He's this cute little droid. He makes these cute little sounds, but he's just secretly very angry. It's like the bad lip reading. Hit him again!
So that takes care of the original trilogy.
I didn't see mine.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which we already know, but...
I'm
Who
sorry,
is
I
it
thought
then?
you did.
It's Darth Vader, right?
You know what? No.
No.
It's not
What?
Darth Vader. You know what? Maybe because of the Clone Wars and Rebels, I like Tarkin a lot. Mostly because
Really?
Peter Cushing's cool. I haven't seen him in anything else, which is kind of sad because I know he's a big actor. But I don't know. I just like the rebel base. Fire and ready. I just like Tarkin. Tarkin's kind of cool.
But your close second?
Darth Vader would definitely be close.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you
Tarkin
can't
does
deny.
die. Tarkin does die. But again, most of my respect for Vader has come from Rogue One.
That is very true.
Which we will then now move on to somebody to.
Do you want to do sequels, Clone Wars?
Let's do sequels and then Clone Wars.
Okay.
Sequels. I'll start. Sequels. Fave character. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I'm gonna say this one because you're probably gonna say the other one. I say Poe. I really like Poe. I think Poe's pretty cool. I like Oscar Isaac. I haven't seen him a lot, but I like him. He and Gwendolyn Christie are the only ones who've come back for Resistance, and he does a good job in that too. So actually, some of his lines are pretty funny. Actually, I really enjoy.
In Resistance?
Yeah, in Resistance, some of his lines are pretty funny. So I really like him. And I can't wait to see more of him. I know from set photos, Finn, and Chewbacca are doing something.
That's gonna be interesting to see.
On the Falcon, he's probably the official pilot of the Falcon now.
What?
Probably gonna explode. Also, Millennium Falcon is a character. By the way, honorary mention.
Technically,
The Millennium Falcon is its own character.
At this point.
Oh goodness.
Technically, you're right. You are technically right. Morgan.
Paul. I'll have Paul go next.
All right, me. I would actually have to say Hux is my favorite character.
Hux.
I feel that Hux has a bigger role to play. If not, I feel like they're missing out a lot.
That's true. We'll have to wait and see.
Because Hux is just getting thrown around like
Literally.
left and right by both Snoke and Kylo Ren. And even Snoke himself says that, what does he say about Hux as he's leaving?
why I keep a rabbit cur in such a place of power. A cur's weakness, properly manipulated, can be a sharp tool.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh.
He's got a lot of villain potential, and I feel like, he could easily turn on Ren.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna. That's just gonna happen. They've already hinted at that. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's gonna happen.
A coup
he
d'etat.
almost did. He almost just shot him
Yeah, he
dead.
just shot him dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot
Some people
him. Oh,
say
he's awake.
somebody said he probably should have, but also his speech, his very Hitler speech in
Or
Force
Saruman.
Awakens, very good. Delivered more emotion than the entire prequel trilogy. In that scene, I really like that scene. Very emotional scene.
Yes.
Very powerful scene. I can
No-
guess. I can guess who yours is.
Normally I would say Rey, but again, I'm not gonna just keep going with the female characters.
We have to go with your favorite.
I know, but I feel like I'm just
Doesn't
gonna.
want to repeat herself.
I'm literally just gonna be repeating myself. The strong female character can fight for herself, whatever.
So your secondary is...
I'm gonna say BB-8. I adore that little orange and white ball. He is so cute, and honestly, that's really why.
Honestly, and also,
He's
he's a very
super cute.
impressive piece of technology that we have.
He really is. He's
perfect
very
for
impressive.
marketing.
Perfect for marketing. The technology for BB-8 was actually found by, I think his name's Bob something or other, Bob Iger.
You were just gonna leave it at Bob.
Bob Iger. I think his name's Bob Iger. I think the CEO of Disney found that technology for the movie.
The technology
Oh.
was found by Bob.
By Bob.
And
This guy named
I thought this
Bob.
was just gonna
Just
leave
Bob.
it at that.
But yeah, he found the technology that they made BB-8 out of, at least the technology we have now, because they did different sets for puppets, like in Force Awakens. I think they did it differently for Last Jedi, but either way, technology was discovered, not like made, but like he found the people who did it, and they hired them to do the movie.
That's cool. But yeah, BB-8's my favorite. He's adorable, and I know there's like actual like BB-8 like remote control droids, they can get. I really want one for my house. It'd be so fun to just have BB-8
Oh yeah,
running
one day
around.
I want to know.
A BB-8 vacuum.
Yeah, Roomba, get on it. Won't work, but get on it. I can see them making an L3 Roomba. Her head's already a Roomba.
Yeah.
Her
I
head
can
could
see
be a
that.
Roomba.
Yeah.
Alright, now Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. You're gonna make me choose between Hondo and Rex, ain't ya?
I'm
Oh,
just gonna go out and say Hondo's my favorite.
Hondo
Hondo is the best.
is fun, and he was so fun in Rebels, too.
Oh my gosh, when he came in Rebels, I was so
happy.
That was the best.
And he continued to be great. Like, it was just one of those.
Just stay true to Hondo. He didn't change nothing.
Nope, it was great. Hondo is, he is funny. Like, I honestly think he's legit funny. Again, one of the greatest voice actors of all time, does him.
Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings.
Literally in like everything.
Does a great job, and Hondo just has some really great funny moments and some really great lines. Since you said Hondo, Captain Rex, man.
Captain Rex.
Captain Rex. You know what Rex means in Latin? It means king. Rex is king of the clones. Not like official canon, but to me, if you had to rank clones by like royalty, Rex is king. Literally, because his name
Would
means...
that technically be Django?
No, he's not a clone. And he's dead. Rex is probably dead by now too, unfortunately. But yeah, Captain Rex. Love Captain Rex because he's just he's. I love where they took the clones. At first, I was very confused because in Attack of the Clones they say clones take any order without question, like they don't care, they just do it.
But then in the Clone Wars, they do it kind of a lot, actually.
Yeah, so they
and it
frequently
confused me.
question
I
things.
thought it was a plot hole. I'm like, this doesn't... But then they kind of explained it later. The Jedi actually encouraged, especially Jedi like Anakin and Obi-Wan, encouraged clones to sort of form a personality, to become their own person. That's why I called them by names. Rex,
Yeah,
Cody,
they encourage them
Vibes.
to have names and, like, have hairstyles and tattoos and all sorts of stuff to make them...
I know, to make them
different.
individuals.
Yeah,
And
to
that's
make them
probably,
unique.
and that's part of where, that's why I also love why they brought them into Rebels, where Rex, Wolf, and Gregor did not commit Order 66, because they chose, spoiler alert, Captain Gregor from the Clone Wars dies in Rebels.
Gregor.
And it is so sad. One, because they played the music. I get emotional whenever I hear the Clone Wars like theme music. Not like the title screen, but the clone music. The clones have a theme from the Clone Wars.
If you're familiar with music like we are.
I get emotional on it, and especially that scene. And Gregor's pretty much last words were, at least we chose this war. Pretty much, that's summarizing. It's like, we chose to believe in this, and we fought for it. And that's been a big thing, because they're clones. They don't think like they have a choice. But Rex and Fives and Tup and Gregor and all these guys, they had a choice. And it's something they should have played off more, in my opinion, because it's such an interesting thing to think about. Also interesting to think about, the clones are probably 13 years old when Clone Wars happens. Technically, very interesting to think about.
Huh.
Organ, favorite character? And if you want to do the strong female character, we don't care.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. I like Ahsoka.
Ahsoka Tano.
I mean, when she originally was
Who
introduced, when she was originally introduced in the Clone Wars movie, I was kind of like, okay, she's kind of odd, interesting, whatever. But just throughout Clone Wars, she really grew into an amazing character, and like we mentioned in a previous episode, she survived Order 66 and all that stuff, and
Pretty much founded the rebellion.
yeah, eventually pretty much founded the rebellion and just became this just incredible character. I was sad at the end of Clone Wars when she
left.
left.
In the smartest decision of her life.
Yeah, but probably just like Ahsoka can't leave, and and they left it pretty much at that. And so they're like, well, what's gonna happen to Ahsoka? And
The
then
Siege of Mandalore. That's what's gonna happen, and I'm so excited.
Well, and then in Rebels, spoiler for those of you who watch Rebels, maybe for whatever reason haven't seen this,
but we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, we all saw it coming. She ends up facing against Darth Vader, and it was an amazing fight.
One
and
of the best.
So emotional. Honestly, best season finale of the show is that one.
And at first she was just like, I'm going to defeat you, whatever. But then later, she thinks she sees and hears Anakin, and then she's kind of like...
Well, she slices his helmet open
yeah.
and sees his face.
But then she's like, I'm still going to fight you, but I'm also not going to leave you like I did last time.
Well, I just watched this episode because I was binging seasons 1 and 2 because those ones I have. The music that plays, it's her music during that scene, and it is just, it's killer. It's so killer. And the worst part was, okay, I went on my mission before this happened, and I saw it was going to happen because I was an idiot, and watched the second half of the season trailer where I saw Vader and Ahsoka and Darth Maul coming back. Spoiler alert, unless you haven't seen Solo or the Clone Wars. And I was so mad because I wasn't going to be able to see it, but I knew it was going to happen.
You asked me about it in your emails.
Yeah,
Have
but
you
then I redacted saying, "Don't tell me," because I had a fear for a second. If Ahsoka didn't die, it was probably Rex. I was like, "What if Rex is there? And what if Vader kills him?"
Worse. What if Hondo is dead?
Oh my god.
Also worse. But yeah, emotional. And Dave Filoni, I watched the behind the scenes thing. He said he had thought about that scene since he created the character. Like, before the Clone Wars was even made, when he first created the character, when they were first making it, before it was ever released, he's been thinking about when that's going to happen. Because apparently to him, it was always going to happen.
Well, I mean, that's some ways, one of the best ways to make your story is to make your big moment between characters, and then work backwards.
Exactly, but it's one of those things that's like, it seemed like it was always on the table. It was never going to be Ahsoka died in the Clone Wars because everyone expected that because she's not in Episode 3 and she's not in anything else, so where the heck is Ahsoka? Which is still the question on the table because she does kind of vanish after, her fight with Vader.
That's very true.
And so it's like, and Dave Filoni's like, I really hope it did it justice, and it's like, you did it justice. Do not worry, Dave. It was so good. It's greatest. Also, talking about Clone Wars, so many great characters. I feel a character who wasn't technically from this show,
but was of course enhanced by it was Maul.
Oh yeah.
Maul in the movies wasn't much, not character-wise. He was, this kind of devil figure, who people could argue is the point, the devil figure who doesn't say much, doesn't do much, just looks scary. But him in the Clone Wars gave so much more to his character, and, Sam Witwer does an amazing job with the voice work.
Oh, yeah.
And just takes Maul, we can bring it a little longer, can't we?
Yeah.
And just bring something to character, and the writing team and everything, just developing Maul into a fully fleshed out, Sith Lord. I get the impression that...
Well, Sith Lord and Crime Lord.
Well, yeah. I get the impression that had Maul defeated Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on Naboo, he would have become, full-fledged Sith Lord,
Probably.
Well, it was, if we were to go into Legends and to go into Darth Maul's comic, which I don't think is canon anymore.
It's not, but there have been several since. He met Cad Bane once.
Where, Palpatine actually left him on a jungle moon to survive as, basically, I don't want to say a youngling, but as,
as a child.
Equivalent to a Padawan. And, left him there for a month or for a year or for however long it was. I can't remember. It was a long period of time. But Maul grew and became strong by hunting and defending his life from the jungle beasts. And
that's one way to do it.
Where he got his name was Maul, because he was ferocious. And when Palpatine came to pick him up to see if he was alive, he almost killed Palpatine in that moment. The only reason
he should have.
The only reason he didn't is because Palpatine was tricksy and said that it was the Jedi that shot his ship down. And so he blamed the Jedi, and Maul then is like, "Oh, I gotta kill the Jedi now."
His whole thing with Jedi. First it was just a Jedi, and then it was Obi-Wan, and it was just grew into his obsession.
Yeah, and it ended in a pretty Seven Samurai showdown,
Yeah.
Which is an underrated duel, in my opinion. If you don't know the full details of that duel, you need to look it up. Also,
I wasn't impressed, but again...
Well, that duel was amazing.
The idea was that Obi-Wan has just transcended Maul and just, 1, 2, 3, dead. Literally, that's how it goes. It's 1, 2, dead with Maul.
Where Maul was still holding on to the past, and for his whole...
Obi-Wan's moved
The
on.
only reason that was keeping him alive was revenge, and so he was playing that battle over and over again. Mm-hmm. But Obi-Wan is...
Obi-Wan outsmarted him, too. He outsmarted him.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know... I won't explain it here. We'll talk about it later. But also, a line I wish would have stayed in Twilight of the Apprentice. There's a moment where Ezra and Kanan go up the temple, and then Ahsoka and Maul are left alone. There's a moment where there was going to be... They said this in the Rebels Recon. There was going to be a line where Ahsoka asks Maul if he knows who Vader is, and he was supposed to say, "What I was supposed to be." And I'm like, I really like that. I don't know why I like that, because I just think that line's cool, and just this moment between these two prequel-era characters who have quickly become fan favorite. Maul was a fan favorite from the beginning, because he just looked awesome, and he had a freaking double-bladed lightsaber. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the Clone Wars made him better. Solo brought him in, and I would love to see more live-action Maul. I would love to see Ray Park come back, because Ray Park literally said on StarWars.com when interviewing, when he works out for Maul. He's training for the day he's gonna be Maul again. And
Which
he said,
I hope that day comes.
If you look on his Instagram, he posts video. He will literally come up with dual-bladed lightsaber moves, because he's a mixed martial artist, to use as Maul. He'll post it, be like, "Hey, I thought of this idea for Maul, what I could do with a lightsaber." And I'm like, he and Sam Witwer together are the uber Darth Maul nerd. And it needs to be a thing, because they both love the character so much, and they would do it in a heartbeat, and I would love to see that on
Lucasfilm, make it happen.
Make it happen, please. Give us Crimson Dawn, the movie. Even if it's not the sequel to Solo, even if it's just Kira
Darth Maul
and Darth Maul.
There's a one-off we need.
Honestly, I really enjoyed Kira, too. I liked Emilia Clarke's.
Kira's awesome.
One character I want to voice, he's not in Clone Wars or the originals or sequels, but he's in Rebels, is Thrawn.
Honestly, I thought Austin would bring that up before you.
We can talk about Thrawn. If you have not read Timothy Zahn's novels, either the original Heir to the Empires or the new Thrawn books, you need to. I've not read Heir to the Empire. I should probably do that.
You can't tell people to read if you haven't read it either.
Thrawn wrote the novel, but they also did a comic book version of the novel, just to help you visualize it.
and I saw like some of the panels from it, and there's this moment where Thrawn, he's so badass, and just this, he's not even trying, and it's not like Darth Vader or Boba Fett or Chewbacca badass. It's his own level. Like, he's this scene, it's almost Princess Bride, where they're like, they're in the Imperial Academy and they're playing cards and they're not supposed to because that's against the rules, against these other cadets. And they're like, we could beat you with one hand. And Thrawn is pretty much going over the probability of if they can do that and how it's like.
Oh, so he's pulling a Vicini?
Pretty much, but he's much smarter than Vicini. And he's like.
Morons.
And he's like, the probability of getting a winning hand immediately is like, and he starts talking about it. He's like, I could have a winning hand. I'm like, you don't have a winning hand. And as he's doing this, he pulls out this, you know how they have the little badges that say their rank?
Yeah.
The little colored badges. He was a lieutenant, but no one knew about it. He kept it secret. He never wore the lieutenant badge. And so he broke out this lieutenant badge, slipped it on, and these cadets are like, oh, crap! And then this other officer walks in, he's like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, no worry, we're just doing a little test. He's like, oh, sorry, Lieutenant. Continue. And Thrawn just sits down and he's like, you're never guaranteed a winning hand. And I'm like, boom! You gotta read this book. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Thrawn is so good.
That is a book I definitely need to read.
I'll give it to you, man. I got it. I got both of them. I'll give it to you.
And I just loved how he was portrayed in the show. Just very calm,
Lars
collected.
That is exactly how I picture it. My first actual encounter with Thrawn was in Pirate War, Forces of Corruption, the DLC for that old RTS game. Mm-hmm. He's in it, kind of. He's kind of more like a cameo in it. Yeah. But his portrayal in Rebels, exactly how I wanted him to be. Lars Mikkelsen, an amazing job with that.
See, I've read about him in books, and that's where I've heard about him. What were you going to say, Morgan?
Are you two done?
Oh, I'm sorry. I get fanboy about Thrawn for hours, for no reason.
See, I'm pretty sure we've been going on about Star Wars for a while. We've got other fandoms to cover.
Yeah, this is going to be probably a longer episode, but, I mean, I'm not terribly worried about getting home on time.
All right. Was there anything you wanted to say about Thrawn before we move on? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, if we wanted to stop on Star Wars, that's okay. There's like
no. We
at
have
least 3 more Star Wars characters I had in backup just in case.
No, we've got lots of other fandoms to cover here in a somewhat of a time frame.
I mean, we're not probably going to get to all of them at this point.
No, well, we won't get to all of them. Just I want to cover a couple more.
Which ones do we want to cover?
Well, let's go to maybe kind of a, I guess, more broad. Favorite Disney characters.
Tough
one. And
Star Wars doesn't count.
Yeah, no, Star Wars doesn't count. We already covered that. I'm thinking more just maybe like kind of classic Disney, maybe like, I don't want to say like the princess movies, but just some of the more like classic ones. Maybe ones that we grew, movies we grew up with.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that is kind of a hard one. There's so many good characters.
I was right. Sorry. On Instagram right now, see a thing here says Jake Gyllenhaal was considered to replace Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man 2 when Maguire was injured.
Oh.
So I was.
I wouldn't have minded that.
I was slightly right. I wasn't completely right, but.
Maybe this topic was maybe too hard because there's just so many to pick from. Austin, do you have any in mind?
For Disney?
Yeah.
Phil.
Phil
Atreides.
From Hercules.
Hades is a good one too.
Also, Hades is a very.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very good one.
Hades.
But yeah, I don't know. Hercules was my Disney movie. Like, I loved watching Hercules. It's very Captain America if you think about it. At least in the not really. Actually,
he didn't have genetically modified.
But he's a
body.
scrawny little dude, and then he gets real big. That's probably where the similarities at. But well, the heroic sacrifice and all that good stuff. But yeah, Phil. Yeah. I don't know, Danny DeVito. Go with him. And I can't believe I forgot about Hades. Hades is clearly the best part of the whole freaking movie.
The flaming friend.
Yeah.
The sassy gay friend.
So it was classic Disney. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I would have to say Scar. Jeremy Irons did a really good job on Scar, and I just love Jeremy Irons as an actor. I mean,
it's too bad they didn't get him for the live action.
I know. If they had brought back him and James Earl Jones, no one else would have.
Nothing else would have mattered.
I am curious to see I can never remember the actor's name because it's kind of complicated, but he played Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he's
really
got a weird name.
He's Scar. I'm really curious to see what he does because I think he'll do a good job. I'm just mostly excited to see James Earl Jones again as Mufasa because he'll come back from Mufasa and Darth Vader both.
It'll be fantastic.
I can't wait.
Oh jeez, I really have a tough time with this one. Once again, I'm trying to think of others that aren't like the princesses or the.
I was about to say many strong female
do whatever
characters.
you want.
I know, but again, I feel like I'm just
favorite.
being repetitive.
If it's your favorite, you can be repetitive.
It's a podcast. That's all we do.
I know.
How many times have I ranted about Thrawn or boasted about Thrawn already?
Well, when I was little, my favorite Disney princess was Jasmine. I actually refused to go by my name and wanted to be called Jasmine when I was like 2 or 3 years old. But you know, I gotta say.
Also true.
What? Oh, Allison's looking at Instagram again.
I've heard.
Oh my gosh, so hard.
Read the whole thing.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Belle.
Belle?
I really like Belle.
You do like Beauty and the Beast?
I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Belle just because she was different from a lot of the princesses. I mean, she was one of the few who originally didn't start off obviously as royalty, but I mean she's different, you know. And granted, I know she's also kind of shunned, I guess, by her town for being different. But I mean, there's no fun in being normal. I mean, she's a bookworm in the original. In the remake, she was more of an inventor, kind of like her father. But and also, like, you know, she wasn't like the woman that either cowered from the Beast. Like, she stood up to the Beast. She wasn't afraid to stand up to, obviously, this Beast that could potentially rip her apart if he got, you know, probably really angry.
Or a little hungry.
Or a little hungry.
Did you see this?
Nope. But actually, I think in the original Grimm fairy tale, I think the Beast actually did eat her up in the end, which is kind of sad. But they're whispering behind me. But yeah, I really like Belle. She's really cool. Okay. So we covered Disney. Which other one should we say?
Let's see.
I don't want a lot of dead silence here.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Great cinematic trailer, by the way.
Let's talk about Harry Potter. That's also another popular one.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
That's another kind of big, still popular fandom
It's
out
also
there.
kind of a sore spot. Not the biggest fan of the franchise.
True, but there's still some good characters to come out of it.
Yes.
Paul, who would you say? Who would you say is your favorite?
I know. I'm thinking. Lupin. He's a werewolf.
Yeah, and he's a good
Professor Lupin, the freaking werewolf, is probably my favorite just because he's a werewolf. I mean,
you like your werewolves.
it's not just a werewolf. It's just, I don't know. He's got kind of like a darker side, but he doesn't necessarily intend to be a dark character.
No.
He's a good guy, but just has a dangerous points every now
And he
then.
honestly was, I think, the best defense against the dark arts teacher that they ever had.
Well, yeah, clearly.
Because he
He
wasn't...
was the only one who didn't try to kill him.
Yeah, he wasn't evil or just crazy. Because Umbridge wasn't technically evil, she was just mad. She was crazy. But you know, he actually was really good. Austin, what about you? Do you need time to think about that one?
I had one earlier today. I thought about it and I had one. I can't think about it. I can't remember what it was. It was probably Mad Eye Moody.
Yes.
He's an interesting one.
He's a fun one. Because he
I
doesn't give two shakes.
I liked him better in Harry Potter 7 Part 1 when it's actually Mad Eye and it's not Barty Crouch in disguise. So you know for one it's genuine, but... oh yes, he's absolutely gorgeous! That sounded more like a pirate.
He's also
I can't do Mad
Donald
Eye.
Gleason's father, who's General Hux, and also Bill, is he?
Yeah,
Bill.
he's
That's
Bill.
Not Charlie. We never met Charlie.
Yeah, we never met
In
Charlie.
the movies. We met him in the books.
No.
though. Never met him in the movies.
I know, and then he's the one that has to come in and say Mad Eye's dead.
Yeah.
Basically,
My
he had
dad's
to say,
dead.
My dad's dead.
Probably why they did that. Probably on purpose.
Yeah. I absolutely like Hermione, but apart from that, I do also really like Tonks. I wish they had her more in the movies, especially with her and Lupin and their relationship. Because they had such a nice relationship in the books.
She's a werewolf too, right?
Nope.
No, she was...
She's a...
Oh, shoot, what do they call it?
I forget.
The Grim.
She can shapeshift slightly.
I know there's a term for it. I can't remember
I
it.
forget it. And
Any Harry Potter fans that can help
Was
us
it
out,
like
let us
Sirius
know.
Black, where he
Not-
can change into.
it's kind of like an
God?
animagus, but not completely.
Okay.
It's like half.
She can only do like,
like
her,
half.
her face or her hair, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Harry Potter fans, help us out if you know
Yeah.
what
Been
Tonks
a while,
was.
and we've not been the biggest fans for a while.
Yeah, but I thought she was neat in the movie, and she was fun. You know, the whole couple times she was in the movies. I wish they really would have done more with her and Lupin, because they had such a nice relationship.
But they died, didn't they?
They both did.
Yeah,
That
they
was really
both died,
sad.
which was also heartbreaking. Leaving their son orphaned, which, again, also never mentioned in the movies until when Harry sees all the spirits in the Forbidden Forest, and suddenly he's like, you know, oh, Lupin, what about your son? I have a son?
Yeah, it was very glossed
There's
over.
literally no mention of it.
Glossed over in the film.
So glossed over. But yeah, we won't go with our problems with the movies. Let's see, we've done Harry Potter. Earlier we mentioned we were gonna do Musketeers.
Yes, Musketeers.
Porthos is my favorite by far.
Just to clarify, we're talking about the BBC
The
version
BBC
of the
television.
Musketeers.
Oh yes, yes.
Which honestly, if you haven't seen that show, please watch it. It's a really good take on the classic Musketeers, Three Musketeers story. And honestly, I really think they flesh out the characters a whole lot more than they've done in any other rendition.
Well, you can do more in television.
That's true, you can do more. But I feel like, I mean, in the other movies and things they've done, you know, they're just soldiers, you know, that work together. They're a team. But in the BBC show, they feel more like they're a lot closer. Like, they're brothers more than just fellow soldiers.
Yeah, they definitely have a really good rapport.
So, Paul said Porthos, which I totally
also-
agree.
I also say Porthos.
You two have a lot of the same characters, which is a little scary
Porthos
sometimes.
is great.
Porthos is really cool. Big, tough guy that could definitely bash your head in, probably. I like Aramis. Aramis always seems to be my favorite, no matter what edition of the story it is.
Even
Even when he was Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen.
I mean, back then I didn't know who Charlie Sheen was and didn't really care much, but then I grew up was like,
You were innocent.
yeah, I was innocent. But then I'm like, Charlie Sheen sucks. But his rendition of Aramis was actually pretty interesting. I liked. Well, and then he was also played by Luke Evans in the remake they did a few years ago, which
that's right.
also
The
had
one with
Orlando
the-
Bloom in it.
The one with the blimp, right?
Yeah, the one with the blimp.
airships.
The airship.
Yeah, and Logan Lerman.
Yeah, and Logan Lerman.
D'Artagnan.
But yeah, I really liked Aramis in the BBC version. Yeah, I thought his character was really interesting, and you definitely see him more conflicted between his duty as a musketeer and also as a religious man. You see that conflict a lot more with him, which I
But
think made him more
also-
complex.
As a not so religious man.
Yeah, very not so religious. If you watch the show, you probably know what we're referring to, but
You know, when he
I-
sleeps with the queen
can't
in a convent.
I can't believe you slept with the queen!
My parents wanted me to end up in a place like this.
They wanted you to become a nun?
Priest.
Spoilers, by the way.
Best line in the show. They wanted you to become a nun.
And they're doing this while firing
While
out of the
shooting
window.
guns out of a convent.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the show, please watch it. It's so fun.
It is a really good show.
I mean, and, you know, while we're on the subject of shows that we really like, let's go to Psych. Psych is one I'm honestly surprised we haven't actually talked about in some... I mean, we kind of covered it when we talked about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I'm surprised we haven't covered it more, because that is, like, our show.
Probably just have to dedicate an entire...
Oh, we probably will. Yeah, we'll probably do with Psych what we did with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, just dedicate a whole episode to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that is, like, our family's big show.
Who is the art? Who is the art thief that Sean really liked?
Pierre Despero.
Yes,
Carrie
Despero.
Ellis.
Carrie Ellis.
He's like the Doug Judy of Psych.
Oh my gosh,
I
yes
love
he
That's
is.
exactly what
He's
he
got
is.
so much swagger. I love it.
And he's Carrie Ellis.
He's Carrie Ellis. He's smooth. Who would you say is your favorite, Austin?
My favorite of Psych? That's a tough one.
There's so many good characters.
There's too many good ones. But I'd say Lassie.
Lassie. I love Lassie.
Lassiter. Old penguin from Happy Feet.
Whatever else names he was given.
Yep, plenty of others. Not
Me-
as many as Gus. Of
Oh
course not.
jeez. We can go on a whole list of Gus's names.
Yes, we could.
I'm honestly gonna have to say Gus is my favorite, mostly just because he's a singer and a dancer and kind of an actor, and I can relate a lot to that because
Magic Head.
Magic Kid. But yeah, I have a big singing and dancing background, so I definitely like that about him. I've always liked guys that can sing and dance. It's just really impressive. But yeah, Psych will probably cover a whole lot more in a separate episode, which is really awesome. We also have Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Paul, did you really watch that one? That was one I more watched by myself. You maybe caught bits and pieces.
No, I would probably have to say Ron Swanson. I don't know. just
And
from
so
what I've
would
seen.
I. That's where we are in agreement once again.
Oh my gosh.
I owe you a beer and a hearty steak.
Dude,
We don't
you're
drink,
way
but-
too good at that.
I love Ron Swanson for many reasons. He's a man's man. Doesn't take any crap off anybody. Best scene in the entire show is when Ron Swanson is handed a piece of vegetarian bacon
Oh my gosh.
and proceeds to place it immediately in the trash. It's a great moment for a great character. I love Ron Swanson. He also has some of the best freaking quotes in the entire universe.
Once again, one of Austin's impressions, his Ron Swanson, is absolutely amazing. You're just graced with his impressions this episode. You got Gollum and Ron Swanson, two of his best. Oh jeez, I don't even. I have to say Andy for Parks and Rec. Good old Chris Pratt. He cracked me up just with everything that he did. Gotta love Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt was great.
I
I
would-
loved Andy Dwyer.
I would love to add on to Andy, but Chris Pratt is pretty good. Yes.
Let's not forget about Chris Traeger. Chris Traeger's my second favorite. He's like the anti-Ron Swanson, but he's great. I love Rob Lowe. Love Rob Lowe.
Another one he also likes doing. Let's also bring up Sherlock. Sherlock is another big show in our family. I don't even know how many times our mom has rewatched the show. Probably a lot. I mean, I don't want to say just Sherlock because that's an obvious one, but
I mean, if it's your favorite.
yeah. I mean, all the other characters are awesome, but I can't say anybody but Sherlock. I know he's portrayed so many different ways in many different shows and movies and TV shows that they've done about Sherlock Holmes, but just the way that Benedict portrayed him and the way that they write him in Sherlock, with this whole Mind Palace thing and the way that he thinks.
That's a real thing, by the way. For those of you who watch the show, Mind Palace is an actual thing. Like, it's an actual mental exercise you can practice.
I didn't know that actually was a real thing.
It is a real thing.
I thought that was just well,
It's maybe not something that psychiatrists teach, but it's a real thing. You can do.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, like if you visualize something, it makes thinking a bit easier. And so,
Yeah.
having a mind palace where you are able to pull those, it can be really helpful.
Yep.
I didn't know it was a real thing, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was just something that Sherlock made up. What about you, Paul?
Moriarty, I guess. I mean, he's just a very intricate villain, and I mean, very clever. I just love how he's clever, but also at the same time, he's very weird.
Eccentric.
Eccentric, yes.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement. because Moriarty. I also love the way they've been bringing him back in almost this way of they realized they did something wrong by killing him, and now they're like, oh, now we gotta bring him back in
I want to break free.
these clever ways in order to... some great stuff. Honestly, I very much enjoyed his rendition, interpretation, his portrayal. There you go. His portrayal of Moriarty. It's just Jim Moriarty. Hi.
Like, that's not how you picture the big
Loved
Sherlock
it.
villain
And
to
he's,
come
he's
in.
this anti-Sherlock, and he's just this little guy, and he's quite weird. No, you won't.
My mind is so changeable.
It's my only weakness. It's so great. He did a great job with the role.
Westwood.
And
But I mean, like in an instant, he can go from like almost carefree-ish
And
to
then to
I will
creep, and then
murder you.
that's what people do.
Yep.
Scary moment. Like, honestly, he's very good at it. And he was just, I don't know, he's fun. He's fun to watch work. Again, his moment in season 4, I want to break free. It's just like, I was so confused at that. It's like, what is going on? I was so confused.
Well, that was the same when they heard Staying Alive coming out of his pocket.
I know, but I was confused because he was supposed to be dead. It's like, wait, he's here? He's not here. He's here. Okay, makes sense now. But
This is
still.
a flashback.
It just seems to me like Moffat, Gaddis, and whoever else is writing the show is like, we did a bad thing by killing him because he was great and people loved him. So now let's find interesting ways to bring him back.
Well, and then, like, The Abominable Bride.
Abominable Bride, good one. I like that episode.
I just don't think they thought the show would, continue on like it did. I think they...
Well, especially with the
Two of
whole...
the greatest actors in the history of ever.
With all the... the fans that liked Moriarty. It's like, more people like him than
And
we
it's
thought.
always a gamble, of course. Are they gonna like the new take on the guy?
Yeah.
Do you have any more we want to cover before we adjourn? Because it is getting kind of late.
Yes.
And see, I think we covered some of the...
It is getting quite late.
Yeah. I think we covered some of the bigger ones that we more appreciate. And there's probably other shows, movies, fandoms that we could cover.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
Maybe we'll have another follow-up episode in the future where we'll cover
Again,
a little bit
Smash
more.
Brothers. Like, Smash Brothers.
Yeah, maybe we'll do one with Smash Brothers.
Maybe we'll play Smash Brothers while we podcast.
Are you sure that's wise?
It's probably not going to be a very good episode because
No,
people will
not
be like, well, we can't see it, so who cares? But it's like...
All they hear is just screaming.
Also, I forgot to bring up earlier Ahsoka the White.
Oh,
Just
jeez.
gonna leave it there. Ahsoka the White
Ahsoka the White. I love that.
supposedly dies fighting a being of extreme evil power, then gets sent to some sort of void place where the stars wheel overhead, and then comes back later wielding a staff that is white, wearing a white hooded robe, after presumed dead. She is Ahsoka the White. I'm convinced that she's been fighting the Balrog ever since she fought Vader.
She went to Middle Earth.
And then to Middle Earth fight the Balrog.
Pop the power up.
Dave Filoni said her outfit gives a clue as to where she's been. I'm convinced she's been fighting the Balrog.
Somebody write a fan fiction about that, please.
If you haven't already. If you know about one, link it in the description. Or link it
I
in
would
the
do it
comments.
myself, but I already have too many.
Yep, she does. She has too many fanfics. She's not even writing.
All
anymore.
Hobbit related, but
Yes.
anyway.
I think this will adjourn our episode for tonight.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm sorry that I overpower. I talk a lot, and I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. You have a lot to say.
I also don't have a lot of people to talk to right now, so
Oh.
you guys are my outlet. And I'm looking at the microphone, not you two. I don't care about you two. But, I'm kidding. Come
Wow, feeling the love, bro.
on. Can you feel
No! That's the wrong kind of song.
The love tonight.
I'm surrounded by weirdos.
No, that's not the line.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Alright, well,
I can't do the deep voice.
thank you so much for those of you who listened.
And thank you, Paul, for
Yes,
doing
thank you
it
for
with
joining
us.
us.
Of course.
Again, he's probably going to be joining us quite frequently because he's got stuff to say on these topics that we have to discuss. Not next week, Thursday, Dargons.
Thursday/Friday.
Thursday/Friday, Dargons, Dragons. We'll be talking about dragons. Our favorite dragons from all assorted fandoms, mostly Lord of the Rings, probably a little bit of anime for the two of you. Dungeons and Dragons, perhaps. Not a whole lot of knowledge on them. Skyrim, perhaps,
Yeah,
get
we'll
into
talk about dragons from
cool
all sorts of
dragons.
fandoms, movies, TV, books, myths, whatever.
Cool dragons. There's some cool ones. Dark dragons are also before. Can I just premise with the fact I saw this on the internet that dragons existed in every culture around the world before they
Yes.
even met each other. Okay, it's not like the English invaded. It's not like the English had dragons first and then they invaded and then everyone got dragons. No. It's not even the Chinese had dragons and then they invaded or whatnot. Everyone had dragons in some form or fashion.
I was looking at some research for the episode and I saw all that too. I'm like, there's literally dragons in like
Dragons
every
are
single
every
culture's
culture.
mythology.
Native
We
American
can address this further.
We will address this. Just premising that. Just give that some thought. Why? Why do they exist? Why do they exist in all cultures?
Yeah,
It's not just a Western thing.
there's something to ponder.
Something to ponder. But thank you so much for watching or listening, watching, whatever you're doing.
If you've been on our Facebook page, we've also got our lineup for our next few upcoming episodes, so you can look there if you want to see what else we're going to talk about in the near future, which is going to be fun.
Yes, we really appreciate any support we can have. We just ask you to share the word, spread the word. We like to get some people listening in on this. If you liked it, please leave a like on the video. Comment if you want. We want us to address something. We have that "Why is the Force connecting us?" bit we haven't been able to do yet, but we're still working on that. We want you to support us. Please subscribe if you really loved it, and tune in on Thursday when we talk about dragons.
Friday.
It's Thursday for me. I get thrown off. Okay.
We record Thursday.
We record
upload
Thursday
Friday.
night, upload Friday. Yes.
Yeah, leave a comment on our YouTube links, our Facebook page, email us, forcecast327@gmail.com. And hope you like this episode. We'll go ahead and sign off. Do you want to do the radio voice again?
Thank you for joining our Forcecast today. I'm Austin Kidd. May the Force be with you.